For the past 23 years, I've shared my life with Amy, my wife of nearly 2 decades. I'm 50 and she's 48. We have 3 children, Rachel, who is 22 and already pursuing her career after finishing college, Jake, 19, living in a university dorm, and Ava, 17, though she'll be 18 soon. Our kids are growing up and becoming more independent, with Rachel already living on her own and Jake away at school, while Ava spends a lot of time at her friend's house. Like any couple, Amy and I have had our share of challenges over the years, but nothing could have prepared me for what she dropped on me recently. One quiet day, with the kids out of the house, Amy asked me to sit down. I could sense something was off, but I never expected what was coming next. With trembling hands and a serious expression, she confessed something that shattered my world. For the past 2 years, she had been having an affair with Matt, a younger co-worker who was 27. But that wasn't even the worst part. She told me she wanted to take their relationship further, that she no longer felt love for me, and that she was done pretending. I was blindsided, stunned. The woman I had loved and trusted for more than 2 decades had deceived me in the worst way imaginable. Her justification? Our kids were becoming independent, and now, in her mind, was the right time to come clean. But the words didn't register at first. Her betrayal was too overwhelming. My emotions crashed like a wave. I broke down. Tears streamed down my face as I begged her to reconsider, to give our marriage another chance. I couldn't understand how she could do this to us. But her response cut me deeper than anything. She tried to comfort me, but her words only twisted the knife. She said she didn't love me anymore, and that she couldn't keep pretending for the sake of our marriage. She was done. As the sobs racked my body, I felt my mind begin to clear. I realized, in that moment, that no amount of pleading or begging would change anything. The pain was unbearable, but I couldn't stay in that place of despair. Summoning every ounce of strength I had left, I wiped my tears, stood up, and told her to leave. I didn't want her in the house anymore. I saw the shock on her face, the disbelief that I wasn't pleading anymore, but I was done. She had packed a duffel bag, clearly showing she had planned this for some time. Before leaving, she gave me a hesitant hug, but I stood still, unmoving, not willing to accept any comfort from her. After all she had done, I wasn't going to allow myself to be touched by her. She left, and the silence in the house was suffocating. As soon as she was gone, reality hit like a freight train. I collapsed onto the couch and cried. The grief and anger were overwhelming, and I couldn't seem to escape them. The betrayal was so deep, I felt like I was suffocating in it. Hours passed, and I remained a wreck. When Ava finally returned home, she immediately noticed something was wrong. I couldn't hide the swollen eyes or the silence. Her concern only deepened as she asked where her mother was. I hesitated, but I knew I couldn't lie to her. I told her the truth. Watching her face fall as I told her the story was gut-wrenching. Ava was devastated, and just like that, she took out her phone and started calling Rachel and Jake, telling them what had happened. She also called my brother Eric. Even though he lived far away, Eric was the kind of person who would drop everything to help, and he did. He made the long drive to stay with us, offering his support during this dark time. It's been a week since Amy left, and Eric has been with me, helping me and the kids cope, offering some semblance of normalcy in this chaos. But my mind has been fragile. The pain hasn't subsided. Every morning, I wake up hoping it was all just some nightmare, but the reality crashes down again. It's almost too much to bear. I can barely summon the energy to get out of bed, and even the smallest tasks feel like insurmountable obstacles. Still, I try to stay strong for my kids, even though I'm falling apart inside. Their support has helped, as has Eric's, but the weight of the betrayal is unrelenting. And then, just when I thought I couldn't handle any more, I got a call from Amy. We hadn't spoken since she left, so I had no idea what to expect. Her voice was shaky, and I could hear the tears. She asked about the kids, and I told her as neutrally as I could that they were here with me. But then she broke down, crying uncontrollably. She told me that Matt had rejected her when she asked if she could move in with him. He told her he wasn't looking for anything serious, and that he wasn't interested in a relationship with someone who had kids, especially at her age. She was devastated. She had nowhere to go and had been staying in a hotel since she left. Her next words were gut-wrenching. She begged me to take her back, to let her come home, and to give our marriage another chance. For a moment, her tears almost got to me. But then my anger flared. How could she expect me to take her back after everything? After she had betrayed me and our family? The audacity of her request made my blood boil. I told her in no uncertain terms that she had made her choice, and now she had to live with the consequences. She threw away our marriage for an affair, and now she was facing the reality of her actions. Before she could say another word, I ended the call. I turned off my phone and went to bed, exhausted and emotionally drained. The next morning, when I turned my phone back on, I was met with a barrage of angry messages from her. She accused me of being selfish, of not considering her feelings. She even blamed me for turning our kids against her, which was a lie. Ava was the one who told me about it, after the kids had already made their decision. I knew exactly what Amy was trying to do. Manipulate me into feeling guilty, to get me to take her back. But I wasn't going to fall for it. She had made her bed, and now she had to lie in it. I couldn't just wipe away what she'd done, and I refused to let her back into my life. This was my home, my life, and I had every right to decide who stayed under my roof, especially since the house was legally mine. It wasn't about being unfair or cruel. It was about regaining control over my life. For so long, I had allowed Amy to control the narrative, to make me question myself, but I couldn't allow that anymore. She wanted me to feel guilty for standing my ground, but I knew in my heart that I was doing the right thing. What I needed now was time to heal, to process the pain and betrayal, and to be there for my children. I couldn't let her waltz back into our lives whenever it suited her. She made her choice, and now it was time for her to face the consequences. When Amy walked out of our marriage for someone else, I never imagined she'd expect to come back. Yet, the moment things went south for her, she seemed to believe I should take her back without hesitation. I needed to be sure I wasn't making this decision purely out of hurt or anger. I reached out to people for advice, looking for perspectives to make sure I wasn't being too harsh. The response was overwhelming. Friends, family, even strangers on online forums, all expressed their support for my decision. The more I heard from them, the clearer it became. Amy had manipulated me for years, making me doubt my own worth and judgment. But now, with so many voices affirming that I was right to stand firm, I saw everything more clearly. If I had given in and let her return, it would have set the stage for endless uncertainty and resentment. I couldn't afford that kind of future. Days have passed since I made my decision, but Amy hasn't given up. She's resorted to every tactic in the book: guilt trips, gaslighting, apologies, and desperate pleas. She keeps saying she made a huge mistake and that she'd do anything to make it right. But how could I forgive her for something so deep, so profound? This wasn't a fleeting mistake or a small error in judgment. It was a 2-year-long betrayal. The worst part was, despite all her apologies, she still didn't seem to grasp the full extent of the damage she'd caused. Despite her desperate attempts, I knew deep down I couldn't go back. Amy would never truly understand the destruction she's left behind, and I couldn't wait around for her to come to that realization. Over the past few days, I've been feeling slightly better. Ava has been checking in on me regularly, which I truly appreciate. I've made sure to tell her she doesn't need to stay home or feel burdened by everything going on. I didn't want her to sacrifice her own life for my pain. She deserves to be able to move forward and live her life. My brother Eric, who has been staying with us since the fallout, has been an incredible support. He's not the type to wear his heart on his sleeve, but his presence has been invaluable. The way he's practically helped with everything has lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. I know he'll eventually go back to his own life, but for now, I'm thankful for his steady presence. On the legal front, I've made sure the divorce moves forward without unnecessary complications. Once I realized Amy had nowhere to go and wasn't going to initiate the divorce process on her own, I knew it was up to me to take charge. She was hoping for some way back into my life, but I had no intention of offering her that. This whole ordeal has been mentally draining, and I'm not looking forward to what's still to come. But at least I can take some peace in knowing that, when it comes to our marriage, I did everything I could. What's happening now is the result of her choices, not mine. I'm thankful, in a strange way, that our children are older now. I can't imagine what it would have been like to go through a custody battle on top of everything else. While it's still difficult to come to terms with how things ended, at least I don't have to fight over visitation rights or battle over who gets to see the kids. Amy was officially served with divorce papers, and her reaction was exactly what I expected: anger, resentment, and endless blame. She bombarded me with hateful messages, accusing me of ruining her life, claiming I was doing this out of revenge because she had a little fun. She even resorted to cheap shots, insulting me about my age and appearance, comments about my receding hairline, the usual petty digs. I'll admit, hearing those words stung a little. I'm not in the best shape physically, but deep down, I know these insults are just a reflection of her own dissatisfaction. She wanted excitement, something new, and now that it had all fallen apart, she needed someone to blame. I spent years overlooking red flags in our relationship because I loved her, and now, I can't help but feel foolish for not seeing the signs sooner. But now that she's on the verge of becoming my ex-wife, I can finally see her for who she truly is. There's still a small part of me that cares about her, which is hard to admit. Maybe that's why I haven't completely cut ties yet. But I know I need to. Her messages have become increasingly toxic, and I know it's only a matter of time before I have the strength to sever all ties for good. It's inevitable, and I know it's what's best for me. In a cruel twist of fate, Amy has now found herself embroiled in drama with Matt, the man she left our family for. She went on a rant online, accusing him of stringing her along for 2 years and then dumping her when he admitted he didn't see a future with her. It didn't take long for his other ex-flings to chime in, exposing him for having been involved with multiple women at the office. It confirmed what I had suspected all along. Matt was never serious about her. A small part of me feels sorry for Amy, but I can't ignore the fact that this is the direct consequence of her actions. She threw away everything we had for a meaningless affair, and now she's left with nothing. It's hard not to see this as karma, a cosmic balancing of the scales. Despite all of this, I'm in a better place than I was before. I'm no longer overwhelmed by the same surge of emotions whenever I think about Amy. We're now in the negotiation phase of the divorce, and I'm finally able to look at her without feeling the tidal wave of emotions that used to engulf me. I keep my distance during meetings, and it's easier now that she's openly venting about her failed relationship with Matt. In some strange way, her public rants have worked in my favor, providing all the evidence I need about her infidelity. My kids have completely cut her off, and while I understand their pain, I don't blame them for their decision. We're all just trying to move forward in our own way, and for now, keeping our distance from Amy is the best path forward. I'm still on the road to healing, but I'm getting there. I'm considering therapy to help me process everything. But for now, my main focus is on finalizing this divorce and beginning the process of rebuilding my life.